Hey, good morning, everyone. Wednesday, the 24th of June, 2020. Low 50s. Not bad. Pretty mild. I can live with that. No complaints. Uh, See the news yesterday, people? I just give you a few highlights. First of all, some territory in Germany involving 400,000 people went into a massive lockdown. Cause, you're wondering? Oh, yeah. Mona Corona outbreak, 1,500 in a meat packing plant. Not out of the weeds yet, people. Plandemic 2 may even get here sooner than your humble, flexible, and most fluid messenger thought. Yep, Dave, that's Germany. Yeah, where did it all start, people? Then it crossed the Atlantic, didn't it? Just prepare, and I sure as hell hope Americans have learned something. I know you guys hate history, and this video is going to be about history, and you're going to have to suffer through it. But see, if you don't learn from it, you're doomed to repeat it. And I wish I had the confidence to say that if they pull that shit on us again, the vast majority will run back into their house, they'll put on their masks, they'll shelter in place, they'll shut down their businesses. What a pathetic bunch of fellow citizens. It is. It's getting to the point of disgusting. Because also on the horizon, from my vantage spot up here on this lonely, cold, well, now it's warming up wall, I see a civil war coming. Yeah, somebody wants one. They want it real bad. Reviewing the news yesterday, what did we have? Stevie Ray Vaughan, I don't particularly care for him as a musician. His statue got vandalized. What did they think? He was a Civil War Confederate? Andrew Jackson, across from the White House. Hey, and you know what the funniest one is? The Shaw 54th Regiment Memorial in Boston. You know anything about the Shaw 54 Regiment and Memorial in Boston? It represented, right after the Emancipation Proclamation, the number of freed slaves who joined the Union Army. And they put them into that particular regiment. I mean, there were others, but this is the memorial that got attacked, defaced. Makes you wonder, if you see that video today of the debates between the females versus the males, makes you wonder if their classmates are not picking the targets for protesters to attack. Also, rumor has it, somebody would like to blow up Mount Rushmore. 2 slave owners. Yep, don't you know, pictured on that. Can't have that, not in the new normal, new America. And again, what does the people in the area do? What does the average silent majority Americans do about it? Not a goddamn thing. Turned into a nations of pussies where your children are running the parents, where your children that you sent to public education, you supposedly paid for their college education, are destroying the society you think you built. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Okay, people. Pictures. Yeah, I know you hate history. What do we got? We've got the Confederate flag, and yes, that is the Capitol building of California. And why are those two up, and what do they have to do one with the other? Stand fast, people. I'm going to tell you a little story here. First of all, we're going to review some history. Now, you can't get the cart before the horse and think the thing's going to go. You got to put the horse in front of the cart. Is that not basic mobility 101? Yes, it is, people. Shake your head. Okay. They've got the cart, historically, before the horse. And how can I possibly prove that? I found a little document here. It's just a brief historical timeline, California 1826 to 1914. The document was from the history of quarrying in California. Not querying, quarry like in granite quarry. Presentation for the International Stonework Symposium 2011, January 13th, 2011. I'm going to be real brief here. This shouldn't take long. Now picture this out. But keep in mind, the California Capitol, that incredible, beautiful, massive monolith, was completed between 1861 to 1874. You understand there's a difference between when a building is completed and when a building is started under construction? Keep that in mind too. Might want to take one more look at that beautiful Capitol building in Sacramento, California. All right, 1826, Jeremiah Smith reached San Gabriel from the Mojave River in 1826. Smith was the first to complete the overland journey by any American to California. After that, many people followed. Okay, 1826. 1834, secularization by the Spanish mission by the Mexican Congress, an act of secularization. Getting ready, 1836, Alvarado's revolution makes California autonomous. California is breaking away from Mexico. 1841, the first immigrant home seekers from the United States arrived in 1841. Let me say that again. The first immigrant home seekers from the United States arrived in 1841. Larger migrations crossed the Sierra Nevada beginning in 1843. 1842, first gold rush in California. Okay. 1847, Commodore John D. Sloat took possession of California for the United States. 1848, James Marshall discovered gold at Sutter's Mill in California. Hey, 1848, 1849, the gold rush. 1849, California state government was organized in late 1849. 1850, we're almost there. Congress granted statehood in 1850. Here's the one you want to pay close attention to. 1856 to 1876. In 1856, the Sacramento Valley Line to Folsom, the first railroad in California, was built. Between 1865 and 1868, the Central Pacific worked to construct a road across the Sierra Nevadas so the line could meet the Union Pacific in Utah. Remember the story, people? The rails of the first transcontinental railroad were joined on May 10, 1869, although it was not considered officially complete until November 6, 1869. Now, trouble with this whole thing is, and I'm going to have to, you have these things sitting there for you to look at, and I'm going to type in here, California first, I had this set up, but of course, I forgot it, first granite quarry, Q. I said quarry, not query. All right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to have. It was built in 1864. It consisted of 22 acres. It was called the Griffith Quarry. Got that? 1864. Yet, the California State Capitol was completed between 1861 to 1874. And yet, the Transcontinental Railroad wasn't joined at Utah until 1869. Okay, people. So, you don't have a quarry mine, granite quarry, and you don't have railroad. Now, go back and look at that picture, and somebody please tell me, how'd you build that thing? How'd you build that thing out of marble and granite? Covered wagon? Really? Through the Donner Pass? This is my whole point. And the more you look into it, the more it goes down the rabbit hole. And here's what I get. Oh, geez, what's the big deal about Capitol buildings? They've been building pyramids for 6,000 years. Yes, they have. And guess what? They're not just in Egypt, the Giza complex. And they're all over. It's almost like this was once one massive chunk of land and got broke up into continents. Common construction, common engineering, common design. You know what I'm saying? Domes everywhere across the flat Earth. Pyramids everywhere across the flat Earth. Pantheons, not just in Greece. Everywhere, including the United States. I'll show you one. I think it's in Kentucky. It looks just like the one in Greece. Okay, so that's my whole point. My point is the narrative. The historical narrative ain't making it. You're going to tell me you can build something like that. Oh, yeah, let me see if I can find that one more time. 1841, the first immigrant home seekers from the United States arrived in 1841. All right, and all of a sudden they hop to in 20 years, get off the cart, get off the covered wagon, and say, hey, let's build us that. Look at that picture. Yeah, I think that's what I'd be doing, huh? We've been here 20 years now, we've got skyscrapers all over the goddamn place. We need to build a state capitol. Bullshit. They feed us bullshit. I told you, our division patch when I was in the Navy, OI division, was a mushroom. Keep us in the dark, feed us bullshit. It all applies to everything that's going on, people. Oh yeah, what's with the Confederate flag? Well, that's how it ties into the state capital of California. State capital of California was a engineering feat Incredibly engineering feat. And as a side note, that kind of architecture, beautiful that it is, was replaced by something called brutalism. Google it. Do the Google. Brutalism, man, that was brutal, is a form of architecture similar to what we have today. Stacking cubes. Cold, ugly ass, long, tall rectangles. Nothing like these Capitol buildings. And if you want something to do, if you got a few extra minutes, take a Google image of the Canadian Parliament building in Ottawa. Take a look at that son of a gun and see when that was built. Incredible. I hate to give the Canadians any credit for being anything other than Canadians, but it is what it is, and give credit where due. Confederate flag. Short story. When I first moved to this area, opened up the bar that my kid now owns, there's no reasonable place to live, no housing. Somebody told me there's a church for sale, so I bought a church. They told me it comes with a level 7 intact, where I like to hang out, where the things go bump in the night. Bought it. Now, I've got this steeple, see, and it's up there a ways. And I'm thinking, you guys like to tear down statues. I'm kind of an old fan of General Robert E. Lee, more so than Martin Luther King. Get me a Confederate battle flag, see? Now, the problem is, and here's the engineering feat, how do I get a 6-foot pole on top of my steeple to hold a 3x5 Confederate battle flag? Because you got to get it up there, people, otherwise the assholes will come by and try to desecrate it, try to tear it down. Moment of suggestions. I might have to go on some construction site and put out bids to install a flagpole. They got a guy in North Dakota, the flag man. Maybe he'll do it. But anyway, it's quite the complicated procedure. It's pretty steep, pitched roof. Steeple's up there, comes to a point. All right. Do you see how things tie together? Yeah, my Confederate battle flag, California state capital. History is amazing, people. You need to understand it. You need to study it. You need to question everything, including what I tell you. Guess what? I'm running late on this video. Holy moly's, 12 minutes, 15 seconds. Stuff to do. You guys have a good day.